Embrace the shadow.
What's up YouTube, it's your boy Kakura here with that Fire Fist deck profile I mentioned a while back. Unfortunately I was unable to find any red resonators before now, which is why it took so long, and I'm sorry about that. And I still haven't found any red resonators, but it's been too long at this point that I'm just going to proxy the two red resonators. Other than that, the deck is built to use red resonator and so on. You should be able to easily just take this build, put in red resonators, and then you should be tournament ready depending on when the ban list and stuff comes out. I'm afraid to make any real changes until then. For now, it's just made to take on stuff like Pendulum Magicians and Spirals and so on. A bit of Tricksters. I think they have an easy Trickster matchup. They don't have anything to stop the burn itself, but they easily can get past their back row and whatnot. As well as the fact they search without getting burnt, just because everything is set to the field instead of hand. So that's all I gotta say for now. So for now, let's get on with the deck list. So first off is the monsters. We play 28 monsters, 20 spells, and 12 traps. As you can guess, it's the 60 card Fire Fist build. And also a thing to note is there's two cards coming out in 2 or 3 sets from now, and it's not like Fire Fist support, but they can be played in Fire Fists. So this is pre-ban list. So for now, let's get on with the deck list. We have the 3 dragons. I mean, we know the 60 card build is basically built around dragon at this point. I mean, you still play bears and so on, but it's mostly built around spamming dragon, getting free searches with your traps, and then just recycling everything from your graveyard with his special summon effect. It's just a really good card in this deck, especially with the combos you can pull with him. And then we have our 3 Raven and our Hawk. Raven and Hawk are almost the same thing. Raven is just slightly better. What they do is, when Hawk is destroyed by an opponent's card, he searches a formation spell. When Raven is sent from field to grave in any way, he searches a formation spell. So there's many ways of just abusing the Raven over and over. It's not a hard once per turn either. You can transmodify the Raven into a level 4 and get a search out of it. Then we have our 3 Leopards. Leopard and Raven is also really good. Like, you can onslaught out Raven and then just Leopard tribute off Raven to get a second formation search. There's a lot of things you can pull with Leopard and Raven. Then we have, as you can guess, our 2 bears. I know it seems like wrong to play only 2 bear, especially in 60 cards, but really, this deck's more combo based than like +1 bear effect based, especially considering like everything nowadays is a floater, so bear doesn't do too much. And then we have our 2 wolf barks, 2 roosters. Then we have our 2 spirits. And then we have 2 boars and 2 caribou. Most people don't play either of these, but not only are these cards great with the red resonator and with the powerful rebirth I talked about in my last video, but when they're together, they make you +4 in 1 turn just off synchroing with them. Because Boar is level 4 tuner, and Caribou, when he's used for a synchro material, he gets you a fire formation search. You synchro with the 2 of them into Kieran, and then Kieran gets you another formation search, and you just start plussing from there. As well as their floater effects occasionally are used a lot. Boar, when he's destroyed in battle, gets a level 4 Fire Fist from the deck instantly, and Caribou, when he's destroyed by card effect, gets you a level 4 Fire Fist from the deck during the end phase of that turn. There's a lot of ways you can just pop your own cards in this deck as well if you want to get the Caribou effect off. And then you can also just crash Boar into the enemy monster to get his search off if you need like a bear or a dragon or something. And then we have the 2 red resonators. As I said, I don't have them currently, so I'm just proxying with them. And then that's it for the 2 ofs. Now we have the 1 of monsters. We have the 1 snake. This is the powerful rebirth Magic Planner build, so you want to get Snake off if you have Magic Planner. As well as he's really good for just grinding in general. We have the one gorilla. I mean, it's a hand trap format, but you know, there's still pendulum magicians. There's still like occasional set one, like a solemn strike or something that you can just destroy with her. The one swallow. There's so many ways you can use this guy. Then the one buffalo. He's your usual discard with Yoko if you can help it. He also combos really well with Snake if you got him out. And then of course the one Maxi. You know, everything has to have Maxi nowadays. And then that's it for monsters. 28 in total. So for spells we have 3 Tenki. Of course that's a given. 3 Tensu. 3 Onslaught, and 3 Transmodify. This is your most deadly 2-card combo in the deck. You can Onslaught for a Raven, Transmodify that Raven, and then you just go like +5 off that alone. The only downside with it is you have to go second in order to use it. 2 Magic Planners, 2 Circle of the Fire Kings. It's really good. As I said before, it procs your Raven effect, it procs your Caribou effect, and as I said in my previous video, when it came to how to play in Link format, you can make something like a Tiger King or a Horse Prince, and then Circle the Fire Kings to destroy it after you've gotten it effect off, and then bring back another fire monster, and then you have your extra deck zone open again. It's just really good, this format. And then double Yoko. I was playing only one in this build for a while, but there's just too many things you have to out, especially with Pendulum Magicians and Spiral Sleeper. You just have to out them with this. Then the one Gyoku. I know this is a hand trap format. There's not much, you know, back row being set, but it's just a 1 of in 60 cards, and it's searchable if you need it. Then, of course, the one Soul Charge. It's really good in this deck. So that's it for spells. Like I said before, that's 20 spells. Then for the traps, we play triple Tensen. Then triple Tenkin. Then the 2 powerful rebirths. As I said in one of my last videos, this card's just too strong in Fire Fist when it's used right. There's so many combos it can pull off. I had already listed, I think, all of them in my previous videos, and there's just too many to list in this video right now. Then the 2 Fiendish Chain, and then the 1 Saito. It's just basically banish 7 fire formations from the graveyard, you win the game. So that's it for the main deck. And then on to the extra deck. We play triple Tiger King. I was playing only 2 for the longest time. But you know, now with Link format, you just want to get rid of your own extra deck monster in order to progress your game state. So I just put in the extra Tiger King just because you'll want him later on after you've destroyed your first 2. And then the one Bujintai Kakatsuchi. He is really good when you have the right hand. Because let's say you have a Wolf Bark in hand, you have a Saito in hand, you have a Spirit in hand, but you have no targets for any of them. You can just go Kakatsuchi mill 5, and you probably got one of your targets right there most of the time. Except for Saito, of course, you need more than just one target. And then double Cardinal. Cardinal's extremely good in Link format, because if let's say you have a board to make more than one extra deck monster, you can just summon Cardinal with one of your 2 monsters, and then he can bounce himself and a card from your graveyard back, and then bounce 2 cards in the opponent's field. So it essentially is kind of like an Omega in this deck. You just summon him, use the effect, and then he removes himself so that you can summon again on the extra deck zone. And then we play the 1 Castell, just outs anything, of course. 1 Baguska, good for if you're going first and you don't really have anything to make Tiger King work. And then Ragna Zero. Ragna Zero is here for another 2-card combo, basically. I mean, occasionally you get the matchups where he's actually good against them, but when you get Kieran out, Kieran weakens all their monsters, so then Ragna Zero easily is able to just detach, pop anything, just because they're now different when they're weakened. And then onto the synchros, we play the 1 Kieran, as I was just saying, he was really good with the Ragnar Zero. He gets your +3s going when you have Caribou and Boar out. You play the 1 Black Rose. Black Rose is really good in this deck because you can use Boar and Raven to summon him and then just nuke the board. But there's also one more thing people forget is he's a fire, so you can use Circle of the Fire Kings on him to summon another monster from the graveyard. So what you'll do often is you will synchro with Boar and Raven, make the Black Rose, and then use Circle of the Fire Kings as Chainlink 2 of the Black Rose. So Chainlink 1's Black Rose Dragon, Chainlink 2 Circle of the Fire Kings, destroy the Black Rose, and bring Raven back from the graveyard. Oh, sorry, Chainlink 1 Raven. Chainlink 1 Raven, Chainlink 2 Black Rose, and Chainlink 3 Circle of the Fire Kings on the Raven. So we resolve it, Black Rose is destroyed, Raven is summoned back from the graveyard, Black Rose destroys the field, including the Raven, and then Raven continues to resolve his Chainlink 1 to get a search. And then on a new chain, you'll get Raven's effect again. So you'll literally just search 2 fire formations and destroy the field. It's just a really deadly combo and can probably auto win a lot of games. Then, of course, the 2 Horse Prince. The 1 rank 3 is Lion Emperor, just for when you have like a double rooster or something and you just need to make something. You can get a spirit back, you can get anything back from grave. They're all fire monsters. And then, of course, the 1 Decode Talker for when you have a board for it. Another thing to think about is that when you use Raven as a link material, he will get a search off. So that's really a good way of using the Decode Talker. That's it for the extra deck. Then for the side deck, as I said in my last video, I don't really have much for a side deck when it comes to just like money cards. I'm just using what I have. I have the 2 Gyoku. Gyoku's, of course, as I said in the Gyoku in the main deck, it's not strong against everything just because it's a hand trap format, but it's good against some matchups, and it's of course searchable to just out their back row. It's really good against Trickstars, that's for sure. 2 Pulling the Rugs. So many decks nowadays just activate effects on summon, even Spiral activates on summon. Pendulum Magicians activate Skullcrobat Joker on summon. There's just too much normal summoning, like normal summon proccing effects that it will just stop. The 1 Rhino, he's good against stuff like, say, Cosmos. He's actually good against Spiral too. You have an easy defense against him with Rhino out, as well as you can easily pop the Last Resort with something like Gorilla, Yoko, so many cards to just pop it, and then your Sleeper is just destroyed when you run him over. I have 2 Flying Sea. I know it's not a good card this format, but like I said, I'm just using what I have. It at least will just stop the opponent from Xyz summoning if they're using the right deck. It's actually pretty good against Pendulum Magicians too. If they don't have one of the 2 tuners, it automatically just shuts down their play. I play the 1 Full House. I mean, like I said before, it works against Trickstars. There's just random decks that it'll shut down. Like you just go Full House turn 1 and they just scoop phase. 2 Twin Twisters. It's good against Pendulums, of course, as well as Trickstars. And then 2 D Barriers. Just good against everything but Spiral pretty much at this point. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I'm still going to be doing that Pendulum Magician deck profile soon, and in a few days or so I should be dropping a video about the new cards for Fire Fist that can be played. I mean, they could be bad cards for all we know, but it's still worth just talking it over, looking at the cards, coming up with ideas about it, and so on. So until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and later.